Hi y'all, this is Gail teaching here from South Texas, our gentle yoga for back care. It's about a 60-minute class. We do 5 things in Veterans Yoga Project classes. We do breathing, mindful movement, meditation, guided rest, relaxation, and a gratitude practice. And we try to, put that all into the class format that we teach. Now the yoga nidra that we teach at night times does not follow that same format because we don't normally have movement going on in the class. But other than that, most all the other elements are included. Speaking of yoga nidra, if you have chronic pain, which I do, which is why I like this back care class, it kind of helps me ease out of the pain. But part 2 to that, I highly recommend is, finding and doing a yoga nidra practice. Now we have one every night of the week here on Veterans Yoga Project, and there's some on the Veterans Yoga Project website, the SoundCloud, and I have some on my YouTube site also. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and stand up, move this chair out of the way, and come to the back of the room. Yes, we're going to start on our backs today. Just know that you can do this class seated on the chair if you need to do that, or lie on the couch or a bed or some surface that's up off the floor, okay? Again, do what you can with what you got. I'm going to squeeze my belly button, bend my knees, hands on the chair, step 1 foot way back, and I come onto that knee. That's my knee that has the least amount of problems. And for me, the other one, I have problems, so I just kind of tip on over to get on my behind. And I've got my block and my strap close by, hopefully. And let me move this chair out of the way because sometimes my feet just kind of are super long, and you just don't know how long your bodies are on these yoga mats, right? So, constructive rest posture. Seated on the chair comfortably, knees shoulder width apart. Those of us here on the yoga mat, come on down to your back. Come slowly onto your back. And I kind of make some adjustments here because I've got lots of back challenges. Scoliosis, disc degeneration, retrolisthesis, spondylosis, SI joint dysfunction. About the only thing I do not have is sciatica, but that's because I do this practice. So, I get those nerves kind of out of being pinched. So this feels difficult for me. And again, that's because of my challenges. So I'm going to just grab my wrist and pull that shoulder up and away because my muscles feel really bunchy into my spine. And I'm going to do the same with the other side. And so for me, my right hip is more grounded into the floor compared to the left hip. It's kind of the opposite with my shoulders. So I just kind of have to make some little micro movements to make it comfortable. Now, sometimes my nose is pointed back to the back of the room. So that's like a key element to let me know, okay, my head's not really aligned with my spine. So I'm going to take my hands back behind that bumpy part of my head, lift the back of the head up, kind of tuck that chin in towards my chest. And I've got several necks going on here when that happens, but it feels a little bit more comfortable in the body. Again, I'm going to figure out where my strap is. There it is. And we're going to start off with the breathing first. So what I like to do is either arms out to the side, kind of at a 45-degree angle, palms up. Now, if it's more comfortable, palms down, try that. It feels a little odd to me, but that's okay, right? Or bend at the elbows, just bring a hand on the low ribs, and the other hand below that, resting kind of their belly button, low belly place. So what you do was when you breathe in, you allow the belly to rise and the chest also, but initiate it from the low belly if you can. Sometimes it's kind of tough to do that. So let's try that. Breathe in, belly, chest big. Now breathing in through the nose if you can, and then exhale, let everything just kind of fall. So you're sinking everything towards the floor to the back of the chair. And again, inhale, belly, chest big. Exhale, let everything fall. Listen to the noise in the back of the throat as you breathe in, as you breathe out. Relax those shoulders, relax those hips. Let everything just kind of melt into the floor. Again, breathe in, belly big, and out. Now next we're going to do what's called the extended exhale breath. I like this one because if I go and get my blood pressure done, it's usually like high when I go into the doctor's office. It's not when I'm at home, but it's that white coat syndrome, right? So I'll say, please don't talk to me, because I always want to talk to you too when they're taking your blood pressure, right? So I said, please, let's be silent while you take my blood pressure. And usually they comply. And then I'll count to a count of 4 as I breathe in. I'll pause and exhale slowly to a count of 5 or 6 and repeat that process. I can usually lower my blood pressure by about 10 points. So let's try that, shall we? So breathe in. I'm going to count to a count of 4. Belly gets big when you do that. And then exhale, belly button towards your spine. Slowly now. Let's try that again. Inhale, belly big. Exhale, belly button towards your spine. One more time. Inhale, belly big. Exhale, belly button towards your spine. Beautiful. Next, grab your yoga block. We're going to take it here about the halfway, the medium width. Now, if you're seated on the chair, you're going to come up on the balls of the feet, because we're going to do windshield wipers with the yoga block. So if you had 2 yoga blocks, you'd have your feet on the yoga block, balls of the feet. But if you don't, just use the block in between the legs. So gently squeeze the block. Now, in fact, let's everybody come up on the balls of the feet. I'm kind of walking my feet a little bit towards my behind, a little soft grip of the block, and with a contracted belly button, maybe arms kind of low, shoulders pushed into the floor, I'm going to drop both knees over to one side, and I'm kind of like inchworming it over. And they may or may not go down to the ground, and mine aren't today. But I feel this, generous kind of twisting going on with my lumbar spine. It's a little spicy, so I'm going to squeeze the block, use my hand to guide it back to the center, and then rest my feet back onto the yoga mat, the floor. Let's try the other side. I'm going to try it with the feet flat on the floor this time. So I'm going to drop the block over to the other side. So I'm kind of inchworming that top foot a little bit to make movement happen. And kind of some spice going on with that hip, with the twist of the spine going on here, the side musculature. Again, squeeze the belly button towards the spine. Bring your legs back to the center. Now remove the block. Let's try this one leg at a time. So again, if you're seated on the chair, you're up on the balls of the feet. You can do that also if you're on the yoga mat or flat feet. Start with the first one. Drop it out to the side. You're on the side of the foot. Now, if this is too much, it feels like it's kind of agitating stuff going on, you can take your yoga block and rest your leg on the yoga block so you don't go all the way down to the ground. And so you're on the outside of the foot when you're lying on your back. Top leg, drop it gently towards the bottom leg. Now, we're not trying to stack them or anything, but just keep the inside of the foot of the top leg. And you might feel this generous lengthening sensation happening with the top side of the body, a little low lumbar twist going on here. Again, squeeze the belly button towards the spine and bring the top leg back to the center. Just remember, you can always use your hands to guide you back. Bring the bottom leg back to the center. Let's do the other side. I may use my block. I don't know. So drop the other leg out to the side. Nope, it's okay. And then I kind of reposition my foot sometimes to make it feel a little bit more comfortable on that top side of the foot, yeah? And then take that top leg, drop it towards the bottom leg. And again, you're going to feel this lengthening, stretchy sensation going on. There might be some spice. Now, if there's spice in your yoga posture, go back to listening to the breath going in through the nose. Expand the belly, and then exhale, belly button towards your spine. Sometimes that redirection of the senses back to a noise helps you stay in the posture. Sometimes it does not work. So you may want to back off the posture just a bit. Again, do what you can with what you got today. Squeeze the belly button, bring the top leg back to the center. I'm using my hands to guide me. Bottom leg back to the center. Very good. Next, let's do notice posture. So seated on the chair, you're going to extend the legs and be on the back of the heel. Maybe hang on to the chair when you do that. Those of us on the yoga mat, go ahead and extend one leg. Shake out that leg a little bit. And then do the other. That one is a little bit slower. And then sometimes this is kind of spicy still. You may want to bend the knees, be on the back of the heels, but still extending the legs out. So just kind of notice what you notice here with your upper back, with your low back, your behind, the back of the legs, the calves, the ankles. Notice what places do touch, what feels kind of tight, what feels kind of odd in the body, yeah? All right, and squeeze the belly button. Let's bring the foot back onto the yoga mat and then the other, and let's grab our yoga strap. You can do this without the gear, but it's not as effective, so maybe you do the class without the gear and then look for the video later, grab a long towel or a yoga strap, squeeze the belly button towards the spine, lift the foot off the yoga mat. I'm feeling a little spice today, so I'm being a little kind of ginger today. Ginger hair, ginger body. Okay, and then bring the strap along the bottom. You know, I thought I was funny. I know I'm not, okay? You just bear with me, okay? And then extend the leg up into the air. So, woo! You may be feeling some tightness going on in the hamstring, in the behind, maybe in the quadricep. You can have a nice bend in the knee, but try to have the foot aligned with your ankle, your shin. And I'm going to bring the leg a little bit further away. It's a little bit more comfortable for me to be further away. There's still a little micro bend in my knee, but I'm still nicely flexing my heel, toes towards my heart center. This is called big toe hold. So it's a bone building exercise in addition to being a yoga posture for easing back challenges. So I'm going to take my hands on either side of the strap or that long towel or that dog leash. I'm going to pull on that strap, and then I'm going to bend my knee just a little bit and then push my foot into the strap. So I'm trying to go for this really nice dynamic contraction. My low back kind of immediately pressed firmly into the yoga mat. I feel that my lower abdominals and the front side of my body being contracted a little bit with this pulling and pushing. Now, if this is too much for the hands, what you can do is kind of release that super monster grip and bring the hands down the yoga strap and then wrap the wrists around and then re-engage, pull, push into that strap. And I'm also squeezing my shoulders for a little bonus here. Sometimes you can do that depending on the length of your yoga strap. Now I'm looking to make sure that my foot's not turned out to the side, so I want everything aligned as best I can. Remember, flex the heel, toes towards you, a little bit in the knee if needed. Breathe for redirection of the senses. In fact, let's do that. Breathe in, belly big. Exhale, belly button towards the spine. Now just know, sometimes that nice big inhale breath, exhale breath can make your posture feel a little bit more spicy. So it's like you got to find that sweet spot, you know? All right, we're going to make this a little bit different. So relax just a little bit. We're going to take the other foot, tap, tap, tap the other foot into the floor, and then drop the knee out to the side. Now the other leg, we're going to squeeze the belly button, bring the leg out to the side. So if you're seated in the chair, man, this is quite vigorous, but you got to stay in the posture 30 seconds to a minute, 12 seconds to get the bone building benefit. Again, I'm trying to make sure that my foot's still aligned with my ankle shin, that it's not like flaring out to the side, in or out, pigeon-toed, or out to the side, okay? Are you pulling and pushing? I'm going to assume that you said yes, because you're trying to be vigorous in this yoga posture. Big toe hold, leg out to the side. Again, we're getting into the nooks and crannies of that hip musculature. Plus, when we stimulate those large muscle groups, it stimulates bone growth. There's your bone building benefit. BBB. Now my opposite shoulder's kind of up off the ground. That's okay because I'm really vigorously pulling, pushing into that yoga strap. And then bring it back to the center, both legs. Release the strap. Bring it onto your chest or your lap and clap your hands. Rub your hands. Get some circulation going back on. And this is good for osteoarthritis, the rubbing of the hands, creating some little heat here. And move it into the fingers. My hands are noisy today because I got a ring on each side, so they're kind of clanking together. Very good. Got some heat going on. You know what? Let's just take the hands, do a little brain stimulation, tap, tap, tap the brain. We do a little energy work in this class too. Okay, now we're going to switch over to the other side. Grab your strap. Let's switch the strap into the other side. I'm going to raise my body up to make this happen. My body doesn't like to cooperate. I just do what I can, okay? I just know this is so beneficial. Woo! Does it feel tight on this side? So that's what you're going to notice. How's it compared to the other side? is there some differences. It may be subtle, it may be not so subtle in my case. And my foot likes to flare out to the side on this one, so I always got to do a visual check. Okay, line up. Okay, very good. And let's see. Feels comfortable away. Feels comfortable more towards my body on this side. So there's the difference here. This one's more comfortable towards my chest. You're going to notice what's unique about you, okay? So grab your strap if you haven't already. Pull, bend that knee, push into that strap. Lots of grip strength going on here. Now again, maybe you want to bring the hands up your strap, wrap the wrists around the strap, still pull and push. This allows my arms to go more towards the floor, and I can kind of squeeze my shoulders into the yoga mat. I just sang for y'all. Are you pulling and pushing? I hope so. We're trying to stay here for about 30 seconds. I have to entertain you with my voice while we do this. You know what? Let's breathe. Breathe in through that nose. And then exhale, contract that belly button towards the spine. Let's do that again. Inhale, belly soft and big. Pull, 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 push, push, push. Woo! Exhale. Very good. Take the other foot, tap, tap, tap it. Little vibrational energy going on here when you tap also. And then drop that knee out to the side. You're on that side of the foot. That's your counterweight, counterbalance. The leg that's in the sky, drop it out to the side. And again, try to keep the foot aligned with the shin, the knee. The shin knee. That's a new body part. Shin knee. I know, I'm not funny. That's okay. Just bear with me. And again, if you need to bend that knee, it might feel spicy in a little different area, like the top of the leg as opposed to the back of the leg. So do a little micro bend. See how that feels. And then decide where do you really want to be with this big toe hold, leg out to the side. Staying in the posture. Woo. Breathing in, breathing out. Belly rising, belly falling. Goodness gracious. Very good. Now let's bring it back to the center. And you know what? Release. Take that strap off. Clap your hands. Rub your hands. Now check the screen while we all are rubbing the hands. I think I saw a message come across. No? Okay. Get that heat going on there. Next is going to be, let's see, we're going to do piriformis bounce and pigeon, okay? So that's two of the yoga postures that helps us release the sciatica, that pinchy feeling, the numbness, the pain that can be anywhere up and down the leg and into the low back, upper back. When the nerves get pinched, you know, they get nervy, so they're going to give you a signal, give you that thing that says, hey, there's something going on here. You need to help me kind of get out of that. So I'm going to go up and down on this posture. Again, you might need your yoga strap, your block when you do this posture. On the second round, I'm going to demonstrate this on the chair. So I'm going to bring the chair close by, move that blanket out of the way. And those of us that are doing the chair versions have been in class before, unless you're new to the class and I just don't know that you're doing the chair version. So, very good. I'm looking to see if you can see me in the camera. You can. All right, I'm with that chair just a little bit. We're going to take a leg up into the air. And you know what? Let's do some lymphatic drainage. Leg in the air, shake it. If you're seated on the chair, lift that leg, shake it, or toes on the floor, and you're just kind of wiggling that chair, wiggling that leg, side to side. There goes my yoga pant. And then the leg that's in the air, drop it on top of either the ankle bone with the knee out to the side. Maybe use that block to keep it from going all the way down. Now, if you're in the chair, sometimes we can't bring the leg on top of the thigh, and we have to cross it at the ankle. That's okay, all right? Now, if you have crossed it at the ankle, you'll need that yoga strap right now. Thread it underneath your knee pit, because what I want you to do if you're seated on the chair doing this is pull the leg towards you and let it drop. So this is called the piriformis bounce. Now, you can do this also lying on your back, but most folks who lie on the back can take their hand or their yoga block and bounce the leg away. It's a little bit different pelvic action if you're pulling it towards you as opposed to pushing it away and then letting it recover. Now, you don't have to be vigorous with this, but this, again, is to warm up that piriformis muscle. Why is that important? It's important because sometimes that sciatic nerve is entrapped either on the edge or through the piriformis muscle, or maybe it's entrapped in the pelvic notch or somewhere up in the discs in your spine. So we're just trying to get that warmed up before we work it out. We're going to work it out. Now, another version of reclined pigeon. Instead of the bottom foot on the floor, I'm giving you a variation today. If you have a wall, what you can do is bring bottom foot on the wall, press the bottom leg vigorously into the wall. So this is a nice variation for y'all to experiment with. That doesn't mean y'all go over scrambling to the wall right now, but just remember this if you want a little bit more SI joint relief, okay? Now, top leg, we're going to take the top toes, point them towards your knee. So you're contracting that calf. Bottom foot, whether it's on the wall or on the floor, press vigorously into the wall. So you get that bottom leg muscle activation going on. Now, top leg, if you can think about it, squeeze the bun. Squeeze both buns if you can't do the isolation of just one. And then option. Push the top leg away with your own muscular strength or with your hand or with your yoga block. You're seated on the chair. You're sitting up nice and tall, and you're hinging forward. It's going to feel spicy. This one's more spicy sometimes seated on the chair. So again, pushing into the bottom foot, whether it's on the wall, whether it's on the floor. Top leg, bun squeeze, pushing the top leg away, toes towards your heart center. And we've got different sensations going on here, bottom leg versus the top leg. Again, this is one of the wonderful ones for easing that sciatica, that spicy stuff. Woo! Now, if it's pretty spicy, you can either back off or return your attention to the breath. Let's breathe first. And exhale. Oh, my toes are starting to wiggle on their own. And again, breathe in and relax and release. Yay! Take that top leg off, shake it out, wiggle it out. And you know, I'm going to take that bottom leg off the floor, off the wall, and just kind of shake both legs. All right, get that energy out of there. Woo. All right, we're going to do the same thing with the other side. Now, I told you I was going to demonstrate this on the chair with the other side. So take the other leg up into the air and shake it as I transition to the chair. So I'm going to take that other leg. Ooh, and of course, my block and my strap are way far away, right? And then wiggle it side to side. You can use your hands to help wiggle it. I kind of have to do it. And then take that top leg, either crossing at the ankle, and I'm away from the back of the chair when I do this, or if it's available, bring the leg on top of the thigh. Woo, kind of spicy there. Oh my gosh. Especially if you're seated in the chair. Joe, you probably feel this a lot on this one. I know I do when I do this seated on the chair. Again, if you're seated on the chair, you pull it towards you and let it drop. You can't, there's not much you can't really push it away very much. So again, if you're lying on your back, you're doing either one, pulling it or pushing on that top leg, the piriformis bounce. I'm going to let that top foot relax. Didn't notice I was flexing it. And I'm going to move my bottom foot out to the side a little bit. There you go. So again, get a little movement going on here, a little warming up of that piriformis muscle and sitting up tall. All right, now we're going to do some work. So you can either tap, tap, tap that bottom foot and then press that bottom foot vigorously into the floor, into the wall if you're close to a wall. Top leg, toes towards your knees, your calf is activated, ligaments all nice and lined up. Top leg again, squeeze top bun, which that's kind of hard to do in the chair, but you still can do it. And either use your hand or your yoga block to push that top leg away. Now bonus for those seated in the chair, you're sitting up tall, and then you can bend the elbows and hinge. My voice cracked. Hinge a little forward. You get lots of spice going on in that top leg behind. Again, the advice is really listen to the breath as you breathe in. Breathe out. Again, inhaling. And exhaling. Let's do one more. Breathe in. Don't forget, press into the bottom foot. Squeeze top bun. Press top leg away. Toes towards your knee. Now I'm hinged forward for the chair version. And then come back on up. Kind of bounce that leg a little bit. Take it off. Shake it. Wiggle it. I'm going to wiggle it on the floor here. Makes it a little bit easier. Very good. Excellent. All right. We're still on our backs or seated on the chair. This next one is letter T, arms, overhead extension. So I'm going to demonstrate this one today seated in the chair. If you're lying on your back, your feet are on the yoga mat. In fact, you know what? Let's just get on our yoga mat here on the chair. We're going to do the notice pose. So let me scoop my chair back a little bit. So again, extend one leg all the way down to the edge of the yoga mat. You're noticing how that feels now in your body after these few yoga postures that we did. And then the other one. So notice how the calves, the thighs, the buttocks, the low back, the upper back, the back of the head, the shoulders. Notice if you feel any easing of tension in your body. Maybe, maybe not. I'm going to let my toes kind of point a little bit more towards the floor than towards my chest. I was flexing my heels nice and strong. So it's like, let all that relax, yeah? All right, contract the belly button. Bring the leg back onto the yoga mat, then the other. Grab your yoga block. So this one, we strengthen the lower body in addition to the upper body in this yoga posture. It's postural alignment. We're going to take that medium width in between the legs and then have a nice squeeze. Now, sometimes what I'll do is heel toe my feet in to facilitate that generous squeeze, feeling my hips, the outer and inner thighs here, hip musculature when I do this. So lying on your back, what you're going to do, we're going to do what's called the golfer's grip. We're going to fold the fingers into the pads of the hands. Those of you that have been in class know what this is about. Top of the hands are aligned with the forearm, and it looks like little hitchhiker thumbs. I can't quite get my right hand down. That's okay. I just do what I can, right? And sometimes it's more into the meat of the palm than at the top of the palm. From here, we're going to bring the arms out in front of us like we're getting ready to fly. And we're going to bend at the elbows, so we kind of look like a half of a letter T. We're squeezing the shoulders. Back of the arms on the yoga mat. Seated, we're squeezing the shoulders and doing the same thing. So what we're going to do, I'm going to walk my feet in just a little bit more, and we're going to do this for a repetition of 5 counts. We're going to squeeze the shoulders, squeeze the block, and release. Squeeze the shoulders, squeeze the block, and release. Pressing the shoulders, the back of the arms into the yoga mat. Squeeze and release. 2 more. Squeeze and release. Last one, squeeze and release. Now take the hands in front of your chest, clap your hands, rub those hands. You're still softly squeezing the block. From here, let's interlace the fingers, squeeze the palms, arms super straight. Now my right elbow likes to kind of turn out to the side, so I make it the same as my left elbow. Sitting up nice and tall, belly button tight. We're going to bring the arms up overhead slowly. And you try to keep your arms straight. And you're trying to lengthen away from your pelvis if you're seated in the chair. So I'm here on the side of my glasses. I'm right in the front, seated here on the chair. And you may be in a similar position lying on your back. Now your abdominals may be noticing that you're using them quite a bit. Breathe in. Tighten the belly button towards your spine. Bring everything back to the center, back in front of your chest. Once it's there, release the hands, clap the hands, rub those hands. Relax the hips just for a moment. It's like keep, holding on to the block with your strength there, just a little bit of strength. Go back to the golfer's grip. You may notice that some of the fingers are coming back on down, or maybe it's a little bit easier for some of the joints to doing this. Go back to hands in front of you and bend at the elbows, back of the arms on the yoga mat. Squeeze those shoulders. Here we go. 5 reps. Squeeze and release. Squeeze and release. 3 more. Squeeze. Squeeze that block also and release. Squeeze and release. 1 more time. Squeeze. And then hands in front of you. Clap. Rub those hands. Ooh, get some circulation back in from that golfer's grip, right? Okay, interlace the fingers, super straight arms, elbows the same. Squeeze the block, belly button tight, arms up overhead. And really think about like pushing the arms towards the ceiling. So I'm here on the side of the glasses now. I'm going to wiggle my thumbs. You really can't see me wiggle my thumbs, but I am. And then very slowly tight belly button towards my side. Bring it back to heart center. Release the hands and unlace the fingers, clap the hands. Again, bring some movement back, heat back into the hands. I'm doing the back of the hands too. We're going to do that one more time. Last time, I promise today. So again, golfer's grip. Notice, if there's any more, kind of joint flexibility going on here. Hands in front of your chest, Superman hands, Superwoman hands, whatever they are, super person hands. And then letter T, squeeze the shoulders. Here we go. Squeeze that block. I lost my squeeze, okay? Squeeze the block, squeeze the shoulders into the floor, shoulders towards one another, and release. Squeeze and release. 3 more. Squeeze and release. 2 more. Squeeze and release. 1 more. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. All right, bring the hands in front of you. Clap, rub, interlace the fingers, super straight arms, elbows the same. All right, breathe in, belly big first. As you contract the belly button towards your spine, exhale, bring the arms up and overhead. Try to go slow. So I'm here by my ears now. Oof. Wiggle those thumbs. Super straight arms if you can. Do what you can with what you got. Again, don't compare. Just do what you can. And then bring it back to heart center. Wow. Release the fingers, clap the hands, rub the hands, release the block. Let's do the notice pose once again. So extend the legs, extend the other one, point the toes away if you're here on the chair. Notice how your body feels. Now seated on the chair, it's not as, you don't notice it as much as you do when you're lying on your back because you've got the sensation of how tight you are when you have pressure of the floor grounding you. Beautiful. All right, so next is yoga band-aid. We're going through the list in our regular order today. So what we're going to do is, you know what, let's do a windshield wiper first. So drop one leg out to the side and then drop the other one. Just kind of notice how that lower lumbar twist feels at this moment after doing quite a few movements already. Squeeze the belly button, bring the top leg back to the center, then the bottom leg. Let's do the other side. Drop the leg out to the side and then the other. This side, I don't feel it hardly at all. The other side, yep. Top leg back to the center, bottom leg back to the center. Now, yoga band-aid. I've always wanted to do this seated on the chair. So since I'm doing kind of half chair today, I'm going to use the yoga block. Those of you lying on your back, what you're going to do, we're in constructive rest pose, knees bent, feet on the yoga mat. Here seated on the chair, feet on the yoga block or on the floor. And basically, we're going to take the soles of the feet together. And I'm kind of here near the edge of the chair to do this. And my feet don't want to kiss today. That's okay. So you're doing the same thing lying on your back, knees out to the side, right? Butterfly is what this is called. So what we'll do, we'll breathe in, the belly is soft first. And then when we exhale, we contract the belly button. We lift the legs about halfway up off the floor. Now the feet are awkwardly still together. There may be some shaking going on here too. Breathe in, belly big. And then our feet go back to normal position as we bring the inside of the knees back together. Exhaling. Inhale, open up again. Open up. Maybe you've noticed your legs are able to open up more. Maybe not. Very good. Again, breathe in, belly big. Exhale, contract that belly button. Bring the legs about 1/3 of the way up off the ground. Stay here. Exhaling. Inhale, belly big. Exhale to about 2/3 of the way up. Inhale, stay here. Exhale, legs together. Okay. Inhaling, open up those knees again. Very good. As you exhale, just barely lift the legs up off the ground. Bring them together a little bit. Inhale, stay here, belly big. Exhale, lift them to about halfway. Inhaling, stay here. Exhale to about 3/4 of the way up. You're testing my math here. Inhale, belly big. And then exhale, legs together. Very good. And let's take the feet off the block. I'm going to go back down to the floor. We're going to do block bridge. And I can't do block bridge because I have an open chair here. So you can do this on the back side of the couch with the block here at the back of the chair. The rest of us, though, grab your yoga block. You're just going to do a little bit of lymphatic drainage. And again, further releasing tension held in the spine. So I love the block for that. Number one, the reason we're getting the block is this pose right here. Well, plus all the other poses, right? And I'm going to walk my feet towards my behind, lift my behind up, bring my block underneath. And I'm going to walk my shoulders away because I kind of feel crunchy, scrunchy here. And you may need to make some adjustments here. So I have it lengthwise. So both of my buttons can be on here. Sometimes people use two blocks. You know, you do what you have, right? So we're going to bring one leg up into the air and just shake that leg. I'm going to move my shoulders a little bit more. Move the back of my head there. There you go. And then side to side. Back to shaking. So we got a lot of lifts that hang out in the back of the knees and our inguinal crease, which is where the leg inserts into the torso. So if you want to take the other hand and slap the quad, is what they call that. That gets rid of the waist held in our lymphatic nodes. And you know what? Bend the knee a little bit, slap the back of the knee. That's another place where we have lymph nodes, nests. And then go ahead and bring that leg down. Let's do the other side. Other leg goes up, and we start that little shaky business. If you don't have a block, you can do this with just your backside on the floor, okay? And there goes my yoga pant. Okay. Shake it side to side. Take the other hand, that side of the hand, you can slap the quad. Again, that's where the leg inserts into the torso. So it's like we're using both sides of our brain here, slapping the quad, wiggling the leg. So we're doing a little dementia prevention here. All right, and then take the hands, slap the back of the knee, or pound into the back of the knee, bend. This is kind of like the roadblock, because when we got all these large veins and capillaries and stuff, and then when we go down to the lower part of the legs, they get smaller and smaller. This also helps with edema and swelling. You know what? Bring the other leg up and just shake them both at the same time and wiggle them at the same time. Maybe you're doing it vigorously. Maybe it's little tiny little wiggles. You do you, okay? Sometimes my knees feel kind of wonky when I do this, so it's like, okay. All right. Bring one leg down. You may be feeling some sensation, tingling going on in the bottoms of the feet, then the other, and then raise up, bring that yoga block out, roll your spine down, notice what you notice. You may want to lift a shoulder up, then the other. Let's do the notice pose, in fact, so we can super notice what's going on. And you should feel a little bit more easing of tension in the body. That's my hope for you. I'm looking at my list here. All right, we're going to contract the belly button towards the spine, slide a foot back onto the yoga mat, then the other. And I lift up and then turn because of my SI joint weird stuff going on. And I'm going to press into the hand that's in front of me, extend that top leg to bring myself to an upright place. Now sometimes you can feel dizzy when you come up off the floor. I'm going to grab my yoga blanket while I'm here. So I think I put that on the list on the email, that you need also a yoga blanket. You don't have to have it, but where I find it beneficial is this posture right here where you're sitting on the floor, because a lot of folks, sitting on the floor is not a cool thing. So there's a little width going on here because I folded it up into like a little triangle thirds. And I'm scooching it here on the edge of my yoga mat. I'm going to raise my bottom up and then kind of be here on the edge of the yoga blanket. What that allows me to do is have my knees be a little wide when I sit crisscross. Boy, right leg does not like that today. Well, that's much better. So you switch it around, make it feel better. And, maybe the yoga block needs to be underneath for a little bit more support. That always feels good sometimes, yeah, especially today. So we're going to do our side lateral flexion, our unsupported twists. We might as well do cat-cow while we're here too. Again, this all can be done seated in the chairs, same stuff. except you're not crossing your legs seated on the chair, right? So let's do cat-cow first, a little extension and flexion of the spine. So your hands are on either the tops of the legs or the knees or the shins, depending how, long your torso, long your arms, how accessible your legs are today. And if you're seated in the chair, you're scooched up towards more the front part of the chair, not like being nice and rested in the back of the chair, okay? And from here, we're going to breathe in, belly big. And then we're going to do cat first. We're going to contract the belly button and curve our spine to the back of the room. Now I like to keep my chin parallel to the floor. I don't drop my chin towards my chest or up towards the sky. That's too much for kyphosis, for any of that excessive curvature of the upper back, that dowager's hump. And I can kind of feel my back kind of broadening, opening up, and the back side's kind of good. And then right here, breathe in, belly big, and then sit up nice and tall. And your pelvis is tilting forward. So a little sneaky pelvis tilt, as if you had a tail still and your tailbone is kind of like tucking in and then flaring out when you do your cat-cow postures. Again, do a little bit less, do a little bit more, kind of find your sweet spot. Now we're going to do cow version. I'm going to move the block out of the way for this one. That feels better already anyway. So breathe in, belly big. Now, if your hands on your knees or your thighs, bend the elbows out to the side, whether you're seated, whether you're here on the floor, and hinge forward. So you might be feeling a little bit of spice in the back behind, in the booty. It may be okay. Again, I'm looking forward, but normally is what I do is I have my chin kind of tucked in and my ears kind of aligned with the top of my shoulders because I'm looking at the camera seeing what y'all are doing. And then here, let the belly hang, breathe in, belly soft, and then contract the belly button as you bring yourself back up to seated mountain posture. Very good. And again, maybe you want to switch the legs, or if this is comfortable, stay here. Let's do that one more time. Breathe in, belly big, contract the belly button, curve to the back of the room. Breathe in, belly big, stay here. Contract the belly button, come back to tall, seated mountain. Notice that pelvic tilt happening when we do this. Breathe in, belly big, stay here. Contract the belly button, hinge forward for that cow version of the pose. Again, you may come pretty far with a straight back. Who knows, right? Breathe in, belly big. Hinge back on up to tall, seated mountain. We're going to do one more round each side. Exhaling, stay here. Breathe in, belly big, stay here. Exhale, curve to the back of the room. Broaden that upper back, that mid back, that low back. Inhale, stay here. Contract that belly button, come up to tall, seated mountain posture. Very good. Inhale, belly big, stay here. Exhale, hinge forward. Very nice, very nice. Stay here, belly big, breathe in. And then come back to tall, seated mountain. Very good. You can either have hands underneath the chair or hands out to the side as we inhale, circle, sweep arms up. Keep one arm up, either grab underneath the chair or hands on the floor. And then, you know what, inhale, reach again. And I'm going to fingertip out to where I'm bringing that top side of the body up and over. And then I'm bending that bottom elbow to kind of get a little bit more into the top version of the pose. Whew. Now, from here, I'm going to take my hand, kind of inchworm it back to where I'm coming back up vertical, and then bring that arm down. Similar to the chair, but you're hanging on to the chair when you do this posture. Or you sneak the hand behind you, fist or wrist, when you're doing this seated on the chair. Let's do that again. Inhale, circle, sweep arms up. The other arm stays up, and bring your hand where it needs to be. And I'm going to move it out here to the side today. And again, inhale, reach. Belly button tight. Exhale, lean over to the other side. So you're kind of like really reaching out into that side musculature, side lateral flexion. Also a variation of what is that? Don't know. Oh well, come back to that later. And then contract the belly button, walk your hand back on up, bring it back on up, be vertical, and release it down. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, circle, sweep arms up. Other hand goes down. Exhale, lean that side body over. Inhale, back on up. Exhale, float it down. Again, inhaling, circle sweep arms up. Sneak the other one down. Exhale, lean over. Very good. Inhale back on up. Exhale, bring it down. From here, unsupported twists. We're going back to the squeezy shoulders. So whether you're seated on the chair or on the floor or standing, go back to what's called letter W arms. So you're squeezing those shoulders, really drawing the shoulders towards this mid part of the spine. And then from here, check to see which leg is in the front or choose a side, right or left. Breathe in, belly big, squeeze those shoulders. With the squeezy shoulders, exhale, belly button tight, twist towards the leg in front of you or the right side. Stay here, breathe in, belly big. Re-squeeze the shoulders, exhale back to heart center. Stay here, breathe in, belly big. Exhale over to the other side, belly button tight. Breathe in, belly big. Re-squeeze the shoulders, exhale back to the center and release those shoulders. So when we do unsupported twists, we just use the thoracic spine to move the body one side versus the other. When you're in other yoga classes, they may tell you take your hand to the opposite leg, push into that leg and twist. So that's called an assisted twist. With those of us with back challenges, that might be too much, okay? So that's why I like to do this one, because this only goes as far as you can go without levers. So levers, you can kind of crank yourself. Don't crank yourself if you really have some spicy back stuff, okay? Be kind. Listen to your body. You know, you can do your own thing in a yoga class. Just know that. And also, if you're in an in-person class, people do not have permission to touch you. You have to give them permission. So, you know, some people have gotten hurt in yoga classes because an instructor will come around and do an adjustment on them. Okay, so don't allow that. If you don't want to be touched, you just tell them at the very beginning, or just, you know, be aware that can happen, all right? We're going to go back to on our back in our chair. So let's go into constructive rest pose, one of our first ones we did. So if you can get onto the couch, onto the bed, onto the floor in this position, this is a very beneficial yoga posture just to allow your backside to settle down, release, and relax. Use the feeling of the floor, the grounded feeling here, to let everything just kind of melt into the surface that's supporting you. You know what? Let's do the windshield wipers again. So drop a knee out to the side and then the other leg. And notice if you're twisting more, if you feel a little bit more sensation going on because you're twisting more. You may or may not. Squeeze the belly button, bring that top leg back to the center, bottom leg back to the center. Do the other side. So drop the other knee and then take the other leg towards the bottom leg. And again, notice that feeling. Mine's a little bit more spicy because I've got a little bit more range of motion going on here. It's a good thing. Squeeze the belly button, top leg back to the center, bottom leg back to the center. So some folks, when they do the guided rest and relaxation, they'll be here with their knees bent, maybe their feet apart, or they'll extend the legs out towards the corners because maybe the hips don't feel so tight, grabby here. But I'd like to offer you two more alternatives. So one of the reasons I have a metal chair, in fact, one of my yoga students took out the back of the chair so I could put my legs through here. But I have since found out by Miss Vicky, what you can do is you get your behind next to the side of the chair, and basically you come down onto your elbows and you kind of cartwheel your calves up onto the chair. Now, what's nice about this, constructive rest pose, we're on our backs, but you can kind of move your behind a little bit away, and you have this nice kind of traction, lengthening feeling here. Arms can be out to the side. Now, sometimes I always feel like this outside leg is going to go down to the floor, so I'll just cross at the ankles to avoid that. And if the room's cold, I'll cover up with my blanket at that point, or, you know, maybe I'll scooch my behind a little bit more. So this is also like legs on the couch. You can do your legs on the couch or the ottoman. But what some folks will do is if they have an accessible wall or a door, they'll do that same thing. Again, this is great for varicose veins and for edema. They'll get their behind close to the wall here and come down to their elbows and then slide their behind on the wall. And you can have bent knees, back of the heels here. If you can straighten them, great. Well, sometimes what I'll do is I'll take that yoga strap and kind of wrap it around twice, or make a little under knot or knot, so that they won't go sliding out. Well, they won't go sliding, but this is just a nice little assurance there. And my legs are not straight. There's a little soft bend in them, and then I'll have my arms out to the side, maybe a blanket underneath the low behind, low back, and close my eyes. Again, letting the blood flow from those lower extremities go back to the heart, lessening edema, swelling, lessening the varicose veins. This is like a zen, a kind of a calming position, whether it's legs on the chair or couch, legs up the wall. So, look up the benefits of legs up the wall, and you'll go, wow, okay, maybe I want to do that. So wherever you're going to be today, I invite you to get comfortable, whether it's legs on the wall, on the chair, on the couch, legs extended, knees bent, seated in the chair, nice and relaxed. And I'm going to come up to the front of the room and do our guided rest and relaxation portion of our class. So again, I invite you just to get comfortable. Notice from the very top of your head, your shoulders, your neck, your upper back, your mid back, your low back. Just notice if there's any tension being held, and just allow the tension to melt away into the surface that's supporting you. Let the behind, the low back, the lower legs, the back of the calves, the thighs, the ankles, just kind of melt into the surface that's supporting you. If you're still having some tension in various places in your body, what you can do as you breathe in, as you exhale, just kind of command that area to relax, release into the surface that's supporting you. Just melt into that supported surface. Again, breathing in, belly big, and exhaling. Just notice that you're breathing. Don't change it in any way. Just notice, what does it feel like here to breathe in? What does it feel like here to breathe out? Notice the air going in through the nose, out through the nose. Listen to the sound of the air handler in the room, the people down the hallway, to your own breath as you breathe in, as you breathe out. Good. Now I invite you to come back into the now, into the present moment. So let's just, move some fingers, some wrists, move those toes, the ankles, the feet. If your legs are on the chair, up the wall, I invite you to start taking them off the chair, the wall. If you're on your back, maybe you can bring a knee or knees into your chest and just kind of sway from side to side. If you're seated in the chair, maybe the feet a little wide, and you can do some wide shoulder circles. So whether it's knee circles or shoulder circles, just get a little bit of movement back into the body. And then let's reverse direction, go the other way. Very good. Come back to the center. Whether you're lying on your back on the chair, I invite you to roll over onto your side and slowly come up to a seated place. Now there can be this dizziness when that happens. So once you come up to upright, bring the hands to your chest and drop your chin towards your chest. So get a little upper back neck stretch going on there too. And we'll do a few things here for our neck and shoulders before we have our ending sayings at the end of our class today. So from here, if you're feeling okay, bring your head to look forward and just take a hand out to the side, spread them out like a little starfish, and maybe drop it a little bit lower. And then take your thumb, turn it to the back of the room. So you get a little bicep, tricep business, shoulder business going on here. Take your opposite ear, drop it towards your shoulder, and then lift the chin up. This is to bring more flow through the carotid to your brain. And then release it back to the center. Let's do the other side. So again, arm out to the side, take the thumb, turn it to the top of the room, maybe lower the arm a little bit, and then opposite ear towards your shoulder, and then lift the chin. Kind of feel that oppositional lengthening happening here. And back to the center. Very good. Then we're going to do what's called swimming dragon. You can hook the thumbs or just keep the thumbs side by side, but you're pressing softly into the palms here. Elbows can drop a little bit or they can be parallel to the floor. You choose, from here, a little soft push into the hands. We're going to breathe in, belly soft. And then we're going to push the hands one direction and turn the head the other direction. Again, don't go where it hurts. Just go to your range of motion. Very good. Inhale back to the center. Exhale, belly button tight. Go the other direction. Inhaling back to the center. Exhale, other side. Very good. Inhale back to the center. Exhale, other side last time. Very nice. Inhale back to the center. From here, hands resting in your lap or hands on your legs. Let's take our nose and draw a circle. So this is to exercise the atlas point. That's where the top of the spine inserts into the bottom of the skull. You may hear some little crinkly noises going on here. Now, if this makes you have a little dizziness, have your eyes look forward while you do the nose circles. And then pause and go the other direction. Again, doesn't have to be fast. Very good. And come back to the center. Very nice. So we'll end our class with our gratitude practice. And then after I stop the recording, I'll tell you about another class I'm teaching. So you can bring your hands to heart center, meet together or stacked upon your heart. And let's just drop our chin towards our chest, just in gratitude of showing up today. Let's think about one thing or an idea of gratitude, something that we're grateful for today. And let's envelop that and put it into our heart space. And just pause here for a moment. Nice. Bring your head back to look forward if you choose, or still towards your chest. So the light in me honors and respects the light in you. So let's take the peace, the strength, and the understanding, and that little attitude of gratitude, and let's pass it on. Namaste, which means the bright light in me honors and respects the bright light in you. This concludes our practice of gentle yoga for back care. See you next week. Let me stop the recording. Bye, y'all.